If you've been a long-time viewer of my channel, you'll notice that I don't really have a Toyota Vios review video. I just find it too regular and common. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I've owned one of these a long time ago, so I know that it is one of the most reliable vehicles around. But now, Toyota has been moving towards fun and excitement more and more, and in that line, they released the newest variant of the Vios, the Toyota Vios GR-Sport. Could this be finally the Vios that will tickle my fancy? It's time for us to find out. Let's do this. Hello again, guys. I'm Reagan and welcome back to another car review. If you're new to my channel, I hope you click that subscribe button and become part of the Reagan's Rides family. If you're my subscriber already, thank you so much for your support by watching this video. I truly appreciate it. Also, special thanks to Toyota Valenzuela for giving us this opportunity to feature the newest variant of the Vios, the Vios GR-Sport. If you have a need for anything Toyota and you're in the area, head on down here to Toyota Valenzuela and check them out. For any inquiries, you may contact the person in my pinned comment below. If there's a car that embodies the term appliance on wheels, that would be the Toyota Vios. The current king of the subcompact sedan category is practically a staple on Philippine roads. You'll see it as a private car, a taxi, a grab car, a fleet car. Essentially, they're everywhere. Now, the Toyota Vios also has the most number of variants in the subcompact sedan category with 13 different variants and counting. Now, what we have here is the top spec Toyota Vios GR-Sport, and it retails for 1,020,000 Philippine pesos. Now, that already puts it within striking distance of a base model Corolla Altis, so let's see why the Vios GR-Sport deserves a slot in your garage. The Vios GR-Sport gets the same angular facelift that the entire Vios lineup received last 2020, but this one gets some special bits and pieces that separates it from the pack. We get a GR-designed front grille here along with the front bumper, and we also have an aero kit for the Vios GR-Sport. Now, if you look at that aero kit, it looks a little bit aftermarket to me, but to be honest, guys, I'm liking that look. Now, we also get LED headlights here and LED DRLs, and I love the design of this headlight assembly. We have a 3-tier LED headlight assembly here, which makes the Vios GR-Sport look a bit more upscale. Now, we also have LED fog lights here, neatly tucked and integrated into the fake air vents found on the sides of the front bumper. Now, regardless if it's fake, guys, it still looks really good, it looks really aggressive, and it takes a lot of cues from the GR Yaris, making this otherwise boring-looking subcompact sedan look a lot more exciting. For sport-oriented vehicles, black is the new chrome, and in that regard, the Vios GR-Sport has it in spades. The thing is, my review unit is painted in black, so it doesn't really pop out as much as the red or the white variants of the Vios GR-Sport. Now, if you were to ask me what my personal preference is, I'd go for that red and black combo any time of the day. Now, having said that, guys, all Vios GR-Sports in the country get a blacked out power folding side mirror here with turn signals. We also get blacked out door handles and blacked out 16-inch wheels that are wrapped in 195/50 R16 tires. Now, the wheels are in a specific GR-Sport design, and although they look really good when they're blacked out, well, I think the tires are a bit on the skinny side, so a set of 205s would probably be a better fit for the Vios GR-Sport. Now, we also get side skirts here, which goes well with the aero kit of this car, and we also have a badge at the back portion of that side skirt, which says 10 speed. Now, that could be cool or corny, depending on how you look at it. The good thing though is the mechanical bits of the Vios GR-Sport closely matches its sporty nature because we get 4-wheel disc brakes in this car, and for your suspension we have a MacPherson setup in the front and a rear torsion beam at the back. The ground clearance is still the same at 133 millimeters, which is pretty average for a sporty subcompact sedan. Now when you head over to the rear part of the Vios GR-Sport, the first thing that hits you is the spoiler. Now this spoiler is painted in black, and in our black review unit, it doesn't really have that much of an effect. It's really more of a subtle effect, but when you see it in its white and red versions, well, the effect is much greater. Now this spoiler is truly sporty, and it brings the Vios GR-Sport's rear look closer to its perennial rival, the Honda City RS sedan. However, when you take your eyes down from the spoiler to the rear bumper, you'll see that the GR-Sport has exceeded the sporty look of the Honda City RS sedan because OMG guys, take a look at this rear bumper. It shows you that the GR division of Toyota has thrown in everything they can when it comes to the design of this rear bumper guys, because it's crazy. It's really crazy. Look at this, because you get on the top part of your rear bumper, you get a nice rib design here that really gives it that air of aggression. And you also have some rear diffusers here in the center that when you put it all together, makes this Vios GR-Sport truly deserving of the GR badge. And we have that right here, guys. We have the GR-Sport badge right here. Now when you pop open this trunk, you'll see that you have 326 liters of cargo capacity, which isn't class leading, but it's still enough to accommodate a medium-sized luggage. You put the medium-sized luggage here, put it up in this configuration, and you can put a second one in the beside it, and you have some more space for smaller items on the side. Now, aside from that trunk space, I want you guys to take your attention to its spare tire. You see, the Vios GR-Sport has an actual 16-inch alloy wheel spare tire in the same design as the entire, well, all the wheels of this car. So it's nice to see that Toyota not only like fully designed this rear end to be sporty AF, but they also didn't scrimp when it comes to the actual spare tire. Now the Vios GR-Sport may have the aero kit, may have the sporty bits guys, but under the hood, you still get the same Vios engine. What we have here is a 1.5-liter 4-cylinder gas engine that puts out 105 horses and 140 Newton meters of torque. We do get a transmission update though, because Toyota updated the CVT transmission of the Vios GR-Sport to be a 10-speed CVT transmission now. Now that 10-speed still drives the front wheels, but the addition of 4 more simulated gears in your CVT would probably equate to a sportier feeling drive. Still, a 10-speed CVT in a budget subcompact sedan, not a bad deal at all. Normally in the past, guys, when you say it's a special edition coming from Toyota, it would normally come with an aero kit or maybe a spoiler and some stickers and not much else. However, for the Vios GR-Sport, that's not the case because you get the full GR treatment even here inside the cockpit. I mean, I'm quite surprised, guys, to see that. Are we still even in the Vios? We get some really nice looking and fantastic bits here inside the cabin. The seats are trimmed in leather and we have some nice Alcantara inserts in the middle part of the seats. That's suede for most of you regular folk out there. And this suede also has some perforated designs and looks really cool, guys. Now we also get contrast red stitching here, and the headrest comes with a GR badge displayed in all of its glory. Now the seats are manually adjustable, but who really cares, guys? That's how a sporty seat is. And speaking of sporty, well, these are almost like bucket seats. We've got a good amount of bolsters for your thighs, and also for the size of your body. So you got a decent level of lateral support here, just in case you decide to take your Vios GR-Sport out on the mountain twisties and start doing some canyon carving. You could do that and you'd still be seated in place in your fantastic GR seats that we have here. Now, the steering wheel of the Vios GR-Sport is also wrapped in leather, but the leather material used is pretty similar to that of the Hilux, which means it's more on the durable side rather than the plush side. But we do get some nice red contrast stitching here. We also have buttons for hands-free connectivity, but we don't really get cruise control. I mean, we're still in a budget Toyota, guys, so don't expect cruise control. However, the wheel also just, it also just tilts. It doesn't telescope though. So yeah, that's expected at this segment. But what's not expected is the Vios GR-Sport now gets paddle shifters hiding behind the steering wheel. However, the placement of the paddles are a bit farther down into the steering wheel stalk, the column, such that if you have short and stubby fingers like I do, well, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a challenge trying to reach these paddles, especially when you're taking corners and apexes at a fast clip. It would have been nice if they moved this like a half an inch closer towards the diameter of the steering wheel, then it would be absolutely perfect. Now, another good thing here is the instrument gauge cluster. You see, the Vios GR-Sport has a really sporty looking analog and digital combination instrument gauge cluster here. We've got the speedo in the center and the tach on the left, but we also have like an insert of a colored multi-information display here on the lower right side of your instrument gauge area. This reminds me of the 86 more, so yeah, it's sporty in that sense. Now, when you look at the gauges, we also have a nice red ring around it, which also shows you that you are in the sporty variant of the Toyota Vios. Now, when you move over to your infotainment system, things get a little bit iffy here when it comes to the screen's real estate. We've got a smallish screen. This is a 6.75-inch touchscreen infotainment system, but it comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. That's right, guys. Toyota Vios with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now, that's not the only thing. It also comes with a reverse camera, guys. So we've been praying to the car gods that Toyota would now equip here in the Philippines their budget offerings with a reverse camera, and this Vios GR-Sport now has a reverse camera. So hallelujah for that. Now, we also have a fully automatic climate control system here, although the finish of the climate control area is in a glossy piano black finish. Not really too much of a fan for that. And we also have some piano black finishes here surrounding your leather wrapped and red stitch gear shifter. I really love the stitching that they did here, guys. Really just reminds me of like a baseball, or yeah, it's really nice. Now, we also have a couple of cup holders here, placed in a similar location that can be found in its competitor, the Honda City RS sedan. So let's see if it will fare well in my clean canteen test. It's a little bit deeper though. Yeah, it went in, but it didn't really fit that much. Yeah, but so it almost passed. It's an almost pass, guys. At least it's still serviceable. You could still do that. Not like with the Honda City, you couldn't really do that there. Now, we also have usual manual handbrake here and a 12-volt charging outlet here in the center. We also have a leather wrapped and red stitch center armrest here, something that's, well, not really expected in the budget subcompact sedan category, but we have that. Now, when you look at the entire cockpit area of this Vios GR-Sport, you see, I'm used to Toyotas, especially the budget offerings, to come with a sea of hard plastics inside. Now, we still have a sea of hard plastics here, but Toyota made a decent effort of softening up the whole look of this cabin. You've got some fake stitching here on the plastic that makes it seem like it's actually leather. We also have some soft and padded materials here on the door cards where your elbow will rest. It also has those nice red stitching there. So there is that effort to make this look not only sporty, but also quite comfortable. You see, this Vios GR-Sport feels like it's the coming out model for the lineup of Toyota Philippines in the country, because it now has the cabin quality materials, we also have the tech features, we have that sporty look, and yet we still have Toyota's vaunted reputation for reliability. The back seat of the Vios GR-Sport is a typical subcompact sedan's back seat, and if ever you've rode in a taxi in Manila in the past, well, you'd know what it feels like to be in the back seat of a Toyota Vios. Now, having said that, guys, we have a good amount of space here, at least for an average size Asian like myself. I'm 5'6", guys. I got around 4 inches of knee room here and around the same amount of headroom, around 4 inches of headroom. So it's not class leading, it's not really the biggest space on the planet, but it would be serviceable enough. Now, if you have 2 average size Asians sitting here, it's going to be mighty comfortable, but if you put a third one in the middle, well, it's doable, but not really recommended. Now, for toys, you don't really get any toys here, guys. This is still a budget subcompact sedan, so we don't get any AC vents at the back. We don't have any USB charging ports, 12-volt outlets, nothing like that. We don't have cup holders, but at least we still have the same quality leather seats here with contrast red stitching for that racing flavor. Anyway, it's time to test out this Toyota Vios with that updated 10-speed CVT. So we're going to take this unit out for a quick spin, not around in the streets, but rather in the service and parking area of Toyota Valenzuela. Let's go. Alright, guys, so we're now driving the Toyota Vios GR-Sport, but we're not driving outside. We're just here in the Toyota Valenzuela complex because, well, we don't really have a demo unit for this Vios. However, this would be good enough to give us a nice quick impression of how this car feels to drive. So right off the bat, the visibility of the Vios, well, we do have a nice high sitting position here. These sport seats are mounted pretty high up, which means that even if the dashboard area is also a bit tall, my visibility is not impinged in any way. I got a good sideways visibility here. The driver's side windows and the front passenger windows are quite large enough. They're decent. And the windshield, though it's steeply raked back and coupled with that high dashboard, it's not as wide and open as, let's say, some of the other budget subcompacts out there, but it is still serviceable. It doesn't feel like I'm driving a Camaro. Now, that car feels like you're driving a tank. Now, one of the nice things about these Toyota Vioses, is that even a word? What's the plural of Vios? Does anyone know? Could you tell me in the comments below, guys? But anyway, one of the nice things about driving these Vioses is that they are so comfortable to drive. The climate control here, the air conditioning is fantastic. It is a hot summer day and I am nice and cold, not even cool. I'm nice and cold here in the cabin of the Vios, so that is really good. Now, when it comes to the suspension, as expected from a subcompact sedan, a budget subcompact sedan, the Vios has more bias towards the comfort side. So the springs are softly sprung. So we have a bit of body roll whenever we're negotiating some corners here in the Toyota Valenzuela complex. So I'm going down to the parking ramp. See, you could feel the body roll here. It leans into the corners. So yes, despite the sporty exterior and interior styling, the suspension is still very much a city commuter. Now, the star of the show in this Vios GR-Sport is that updated 10-speed CVT transmission. However, since we're just here in the Toyota Valenzuela complex, we really don't have the opportunity or the location to truly test it out. You see, that 10-speed CVT would truly shine out on the open highway because that would maximize on your fuel economy. The CVT would likely choose the highest available, well, simulated gear and maximize on your fuel economy. The thing is, we can test out the low-end grunt of the Toyota Vios GR-Sport because we have inclines here and parking ramps. So we're going to try it out right now. Going up the parking ramp from standstill. Yes, even with that 10-speed CVT, the Vios could easily negotiate that parking ramp because we got enough low-end grunt in the torque range, in the torque band. And yeah, negotiating those steep inclines, it's not going to be an issue with Toyota Vios GR-Sport. Now that would be kind of embarrassing though. I mean, if you have a sporty looking vehicle, you have a sporty looking car with all the aero bits and all that race stuff that can be found inside the cabin, and then you can't really negotiate a parking ramp or a steep incline, that would be kind of embarrassing. But it's a good thing the Toyota Vios GR-Sport will not have to experience that kind of embarrassment. Overall, guys, I have to say, this has got to be the best looking cabin amongst the Toyota Vios lineup. It's got a good balance of sporty appeal and cabin comfort in a package that still maintains its reliability. So if you want a city commuter, a daily driver that has that added oomph, that added zest that could make your daily driving a bit more exciting, well, this Toyota Vios GR-Sport presents the real deal, man. Can't believe I'm saying that about a Toyota Vios. It's crazy. Well, I must say, I am truly impressed. The GR badging on this Vios is not just lip service, nor is it an effort to milk more money out of hardcore die-hard Toyota fanboys out there. The exterior styling, the interior bits, the addition of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, that updated 10-speed CVT transmission, and oh yeah, before we forget, that reverse camera. Oh yeah. I mean, put it all together, and this Vios GR-Sport is now a more exciting proposition in the subcompact sedan category. Finally, good job, Toyota. Good job. Anyway, thanks for watching.